Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to call the 12th of July meeting of the Common Council to order, and I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Tenorio. Vitale.
Here.
Weigel.
Here.
Grisham. Here. Haas.
Here.
Keen. Here. Lysick.
Here.
Reinke. Here. Grote.
Here.
Stefanski.
Here.
10 present.
Thank you. Please, we have a quorum. Please rise if you are able and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led this evening by Alderman Tenorio. Thank you. We will move on to item D, public hearings. We have one item for public hearing this evening, and I will ask the clerk to read that one out.
Ordinance to rezone the property located at 1455 South 97th Street from residential to commercial, amending section 1901.
Thank you. And I will turn things over to Mr. Scher.
Thank you, Mayor. The hearing tonight is for a rezoning of lands at 97th Street, just south of Greenfield Avenue. It's currently owned by Greenfield Presbyterian Church, and the lands are currently zoned residential. It's the RB zoning. The future land use is public, semi-public. It will continue its current and future land use. And one of the tenants within the property is called Maple Grove Treatment Center, and they are licensed by the state of Wisconsin as a mental health clinic, and they offer
Steve, I think your microphone would have, is it still on?
There we go.
Okay.
Hear me? Okay. So Greenfield Presbyterian Church is the property owner. They run services at the property. And one of their tenants within the same building is the Maple Grove Treatment Center. They're licensed by the state.
Steve, you might need to hold it down while you're talking. I think it might turn off automatically after a few seconds.
Got it. Learning curve, sorry. But so they're licensed, and they offer counseling practices and so on, supportive of independent living for the community. So they also employ a small handful of Can you hear me? Okay. I'll give this one a shot. So, but that the Presbyterian Church would like to sell the property to their tenant, and the tenant would then thereby take over ownership of the property and continue to do business on this site and help people within the community. The church, meanwhile, would also be a tenant within the same building and continue on, but leasing from the new property owner. So that's the gist of the summary. So given the fact that the existing use is a clinic of sorts, and they offer some instructional training and counseling for small groups of people, that's not currently allowed within the RB2 district. They've been there for a while, but given the change in ownership, we think it's in the best practice and going forward to align this property with the future use, the owner of the property being the Maple Grove Clinic. And the new zoning would go from RB2 or RB residence to C2 commercial, and both uses would be considered allowed uses, conforming uses within the C2 zoning. The rezoning would conform with our future land use map, and just given the context, the area just south of Greenfield Avenue, just east of the interstate, and sort of a nice fit within the neighborhood, we don't see this rezoning as being problematic at all, given the existing tenants of the property. One other note is that the business Maple Grove is a for-profit business. The property would become taxable. So Plan Commission is reviewed this land use or the zoning change in June. They had recommended approval, and public notice has been published and mailed to properties within 200 feet. We have received some comments. The comments have all been more inquiry. We haven't received any objections to date, so we are recommending approval of the rezoning. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Scher. Are there any questions from the members of the Common Council? Okay, seeing none, are there any questions or comments from the members of the audience? Okay, seeing none. Oh, okay, if you do, please approach the podium, and you can push the button with the little person on it, and the light will turn green, and then please give us your name and address for our official record, and if you could sign in, I think it's at the back.
Okay.
Thanks.
My name's Brian Bazil. My actual address that we live at is N48W22106 Wire Road, Pewaukee, Wisconsin. We own a property just south of it. It's a four-family. We did talk to Paul and gave him an okay for it, but on the picture on the right, it shows that the other apartment building, is that C2 also?
The Cobalt Supreme. Yeah, that is actually zoned RC. It may be hard to see here. There's a hash line running through it, so it is residentially zoned, but it's for a higher density use.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that ours stays residential. So.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the members of the audience on public hearing number 1? Okay, we will close public hearing number 1, and we will move to item E, which is citizen participation. This is where the council can receive information from members of the public during this 30-minute period. Also take this moment to ask everyone to please silence their phones. Happens to all of us. Each speaker must announce their name to the council and their address, sign in at the podium, and please limit your comments to statements of no more than 5 minutes during this 30-minute portion of our agenda. Does anybody wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will close citizen participation. We will move to item F. Our standing committees will be meeting during recess. The room numbers of these meetings are listed on the bottom of page 1 on your agendas. Then we will go to the mayor's report, and this is where I am going to ask Pete Daniels to come on up, as well as Council President Lysak. Pete. So, I have a proclamation I am going to read as Mr. Daniels is retiring, effective July 15th, after 31 years of service with the City of West Allis. And as you can imagine, in 31 years, he has accomplished a lot, which leads to a very small font on this and a lot of information, so I ask for you to bear with me while I read this. Whereas Peter Daniels retired from his position as the city engineer with the City of West Allis effective July 15th, 2022, after 31 years of service. And whereas Peter earned his Bachelor of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Prior to serving the City of West Allis, he worked for the City of Waukesha as a surveyor, Linscott Law and Greenspan Engineers as a transportation engineer, and Sewer Pack as a senior engineer. Whereas during his professional career, Peter served the citizens as an engineer, a senior engineer, a principal engineer in design services, the interim acting city engineer, and ultimately city engineer. He has contributed his professional knowledge serving as a member of the Capital Improvement Committee, which reviews the 1-year, 5-year, and 10-year capital improvement plans for the City of West Allis. He has attended and presented at countless public hearings, which we've all heard. He has spearheaded the development of the City Hall facade repair, capital improvement projects, multiple building generators, LED building light conversion, street lighting project, National Avenue from 76th to 82nd Street, green infrastructure, traffic signals, leveraged the maximum use of grants and other funding for all projects, served as a member of the advisory committee on the regional transportation planning for Sewer Pack, a member of the technical advisory committee for the Zoo Interchange project. He has also designed dozens of alleys and streets, meeting the needs of the community. Whereas leading the charge, Peter fought and won the battle to prevent WSDOT from turning Highway 100 into 8 lanes of traffic and demolishing $20 million of taxable properties in the process. Throughout his career, Peter has been instrumental in strategic planning processes to develop and implement plans identifying the needs of residents, and the City of West Allis has taken initiatives designed to benefit the community, fought for the best outcomes for the city's streets, led by example, and created a positive, confident working environment for the department. And whereas outside of his office, Peter is an active participant in the West Allis community, and whereas Peter has led a dedicated and successful engineering department, serving as mentor to multiple engineers and technicians, was a colleague, teammate, and friend. As a servant leader, he guided his team with patience, an open door policy, a willingness to help others, and took the time to explain options and projects, encouraged exploration of new ideas for the city, and always welcomed feedback and discussions. In every role, Peter has served with honesty, integrity, mindfulness, a deep commitment to the well-being of the needs of West Allis residents. And whereas he has dedicated his career to the betterment of West Allis through his skills and his dedication, has made it a more developed, advanced, and enriched place to live, work, and visit. Therefore, may it be known that I, Dan Devine, Mayor of the City of West Allis, State of Wisconsin, do hereby designate July 15th, 2022 as Peter Daniels Day in the city. Be it further proclaimed that all citizens of West Allis join me in recognizing Peter's accomplishments in the field of engineering and the contributions to the City of West Allis. We're almost done. And join me in extending to Peter our best wishes for a very long and very happy retirement. Pete, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Wise old city engineer who hired me in 1991, Jack Schumacher, said that when it came time to repave a street a second time, it was time to probably move on, because it's kind of demoralizing to have to do the same street twice. So that's kind of what's about to happen in the city, so I figured it was time to move on. But I do thank all the mentors, including Jack, who hired me. He saw something in me that I think my coworkers questioned for a while, but apparently I amounted to something. So I thank all the mentors, both here, staff, coworkers, who've trained me and mentored me, because I didn't know much when I came here, but apparently I learned a few things. So thank you very much.
That side always gets the perk of getting to high-five everybody on their way out.
Mr. Mayor, they used to call it Schumacher, Concrete Joe.
Concrete Jack.
Jack.
Yeah, it was the license plate for a while. They had custom plates.
Yes.
Just one other thing under the mayor's report. We had a ribbon cutting this afternoon for a business that opened up by 2 West Allis residents. I was joined by a lot of state representatives. Alderwoman Keene and Alderman Tenorio were there, as well as a lot of people from the community. But it's called Green Homeowners United, and they do a lot of work regarding helping homeowners make their homes more energy efficient, saving money, more environmentally friendly. And they opened up an office on 96th and Greenfield this afternoon. So they have a very strong presence on the internet if you're interested in checking them out. But it's a great opportunity. They used the state's Main Street Bounce Back program to fill a vacant storefront or a vacant building, which is a great story. And it's just extra special because both owners are residents of West Allis. So I want to congratulate them. That does conclude the mayor's report, and we move on to item H. Are there any reports from the alderpersons this evening?
Mayor,
Alderman Rope.
I would just like to say this Saturday, July 16th at at 9 a.m. We're having our first volunteer meeting for anybody interested in doing volunteer work at the Honey Creek Cemetery. We're in the process of refurbishing it, freshening it up. I was going to say breathe new life into it, but that would be right. 9 o'clock this Saturday. Thank you.
You're on a tear tonight. Yeah. You're about ready for your own public access show. Does anyone want to follow that and try to do another alderperson's report? All right. Then we will move on to item I. Alderman Lysick.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any changes or adjustments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. We have no standing committee reports under item J, so I will move to the item K.
Mayor,
Yeah.
Mayor, can we pull one of the items from the
Yep.
consent agenda?
Yes.
You got that one already?
No.
Oh, it's for the Class B tavern license for Binary.
Okay.
Put that back to committee.
Do you want to make a motion to refer it to committee?
Yeah, can I make a motion to refer it to committee?
Yeah. Is there any objection? I'll just. It's under 12.
It's under number 12.
Second listing.
Yep, it's the second one down.
I can just so move that, correct? Without objection. So moved. Done.
Thank you.
Thanks. Back to you, Alderman Lysick. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Tenorio.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Grisham. Aye. Haas. Aye. Keen. Aye. Lysick. Aye. Branke. Aye. Rote. Aye. Stefanski.
Aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Motion carries. Alderman Lysick.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now in recess.